Yes, Day Trippers, it's Tiago's father, 89, from the Red Sea podcast, and we are here with your match reaction show. AC Milan and Liverpool is always guaranteed to be fireworks. We've had a sensational Champions League final twice, once in 2005 and once in 2007. And tonight, under the Anfield lights, we welcome AC Milan to Anfield for the first time, and it was a 5-goal thriller. Little bit of a strange first half where we found ourselves a little bit down, but we're going to get into that in the match reaction show. So strap yourselves in. As I said, Tiago's father, I'm here, your host, with my co-partner, SS, and it's promising to be a good one. Let's go. How are we doing, guys? And I just want to welcome my co-host, SS. It's good to have you here, my man. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, mate. I'm much better after that second half performance. I was a little bit heart in mouth. It reminded me a little bit of last season, home to West Brom, home to Burnley, dominating games and getting sucker punched, really, wasn't it? Looking at the stats, 23 shots to 7, 15 corners to 2, and Liverpool Milan, it's like you said in the intro, mate, it's always a classic, right?
Oh, definitely. And like you said, to start with, it was looking like it was going to be comprehensive. I thought that my score prediction was just going to happen because I was saying 4-0 on the Red Sea podcast. And I'm sitting here thinking, yeah, we're in for 4 here. Jericho was spouting off 7-0. I'm thinking, oh, we might be in for 7. And yeah, it all changed pretty quick. But before we get into AC Milan and how fruitful their evening was, let's talk about the first goal. I think an outstanding bit of play, to be honest. And we were looking threatening from kickoff. It was absolutely fantastic to see us actually go out and take a game by the scruff of the neck. And that's what we did this evening. We were all out attack from the first whistle. I mean, what's your thoughts on the first goal?
Yeah, I mean, I predicted on the Red Sea last night a bit of a Roma blitz. I did feel we'd come out the traps firing, back under the lights, Champions League atmosphere with a full Anfield, which we've not seen for a little while. But yeah, really, really good start. Trent looked on fire and was one of the best players on the pitch tonight, always involved. Again, maybe found out a little bit at the back for a Milan goal. But yeah, really, really dangerous for the whole game, getting in really dangerous pockets, sometimes going onto his left foot, cutting inside the penalty area as well, which, reminds me of Mo Salah. But yeah, really positive and I think a little bit harsh that the goal got taken off him, but I guess it was a cross that kind of got bundled in by the Chelsea legend, Fikayo Tomori. But, 9 minutes in, you're thinking, God, 1-0 up, you get the penalty and you think, God, this goes in. This could be 4 or 5. But yeah, I think it's one of them things. Liverpool, no matter if we get the chance to bury the game in the 20th or the 80th, we struggled with that last season. And that, I think if that penalty goes in, I don't think Milan come back, in my opinion.
Yeah, I've got a slightly different take on it. A slightly different take. And those that are new to the show, me and my co-host, who don't always agree.
It'd be boring if we did, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we have different views on a couple of things. I think Trent's performance leading to his goal, because I'm going to credit him with that. Forget dubious goals panel. I'm going to credit Trent with that goal. That was his goal, yeah? His performance up until his goal was absolutely fantastic. Yeah? After the goal, I felt a touch of complacency creep into his game.
Yeah,
I think he thought he was in for an easy night. I think he thought, this is too easy. I'm going to start getting more adventurous. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's no reward without risk. We talk about risk and reward. Yeah? So he was taking risks. When you look at the goal that Milan scored, it was because Trent was so far advanced that they counter-attacked.
Yeah.
And it was almost like he was jogging back, which was frustrating. I want to see him bust the gut. You want to be busting your ass to get back into a recovery position. And I just didn't see that from him. I mean, Kevin Ball here as well. Trent wasn't great in the second half. I got someone in the comments here, agreed. Trent Ball again comes with a great... So Kevin Ball here comes with a great comment as well. He tried dribbling and all that in our own half. Just keep it simple until we move forward.
I think it's a good point, isn't it? Because if Trent decides that, yeah, this is a game I can start getting goals and assists and I'm going to play right wing tonight, you know, if Van Dijk's not back there, unfortunately, we saw that last season, because when Van Dijk wasn't there, Robertson and Trent had to restrict their forward runs, didn't they? And tonight, you know, they almost kind of played as if he was there because they've kind of got used to him being there again. And, you know, he wasn't. And we saw, you know, alongside Van Dijk, anybody that's, you know, decent can look very good. But without them, I do feel Matip and Gomez are second tier centre backs.
Matip has had a sensational start to the season. He's had a sensational start to the season. Gomez, I think, it's a bit harsh to put Gomez in for criticism because it's his first game back. The legs looked a bit laboured. I think he's lacking match fitness. But against this AC Milan attack, you would have expected not an easy night, because I don't think any European fixture is easy. It's never going to be easy. They're in the Champions League for a reason. Yeah. But I think this is a good game for Gomez to have been eased back into. And I'm not going to single out Joe Gomez for any criticism because I think he played okay within his limits.
Yeah,
but where I think we saw a huge deficiency was in Trent's bombing forward. Naby Keita again as well. Not a huge criticism, but I feel he's slow to transition. So when the ball gets turned over, he's slow in transition. He looked decent going forward. He was knitting things together. He was nip and tuck tonight. He was very clean tonight. But I just think he lacked in transition, which allowed their midfield to get us.
I think for me, Naby had a few chances tonight where he just held onto the ball for too long. He had chances to put the crosses in, you know, decided to beat too many, didn't need to beat to get to the byline. And then his cross goes straight into the palms of the goalie, where Robertson played him in that second half. First time cross, could have set up a goal. And again, you know, I liken it to Chamberlain. Again, he comes on towards the end of the game, but, you know, the gap between the first team and the backup brigade, as we've mentioned, whenever they do get their chance, if it's from the start or an impact sub, they have to try and do so much to try and prove to Jurgen Klopp that they deserve a chance in the next game over the other backup brigades. And I feel they all just do a little bit too much. And, you know, then they always try and overdo things, really.
No, I see that, and I think there is a little bit of guilt there from trying a bit too hard, maybe from Naby Keita. He's probably eager to impress, but again, I was happy with his performance tonight. It was nip and tuck, but I just think that transitional play lacked a little bit. But I just want to dissect that AC Milan goal a little bit more. Yeah, so Trent goes forward, he gets caught in possession and loses the ball. We then see them breaking numbers from the middle of the park. And it was that ball. It wasn't a ball in behind. Actually, no, do you know what? It was to Rebic. It was a ball in behind, and it was a first-time finish. Absolutely
great goal. A couple of one-touch passes as well.
Exactly. A bit of tick-tacker in front of the defence, which draws the defence out. Ball gets slipped in behind, and he latches onto it with a first-time shot and catches Alisson off balance slightly. Alisson's done well to get down, and he's only fingertips away from it. But it was a fantastic finish. All credit to AC Milan. But just talk to me what your thoughts are of that build-up play from a Liverpool perspective, because AC Milan did everything right. How do we feel that Liverpool could have been better organised in that segment of possession where we've lost it from the turnover to the counter-attack from Milan to the goal?
Yeah, I mean, we were having some good chats in the Red Sea podcast WhatsApp group, and I agree with what people were saying in there. That, you know, the midfield need to help out a little bit more, and, you know, I know we had Hendo and Fabinho in there as well, but I hate to keep putting it on him, but I feel Naby Keita, like you say, in the transition needs to be reacting a little bit quicker. Trent was definitely caught too high, and you know, when you've got Gomez in there, who's not really played a minute at centre back this season. It was always going to be a difficult game to throw him into. I did wonder if we'd see Konate tonight, but he decided to stick with one of the centre backs that had been playing, and I guess we'll probably see Gomez and Konate play against Norwich next midweek. But yeah, it's one of them. Yes, on the transition, Liverpool should have reacted quicker, and you could say that about Milan's second goal as well. I think Fabinho was tracking back a little bit too slow at times. When obviously Robertson got it off the line, but they tapped it in. But yeah, without Van Dijk there, the presence he brings, Milan are chucking players forward, 3 or 4 running towards our goal at the same time, and a player like Van Dijk stops that happening, and suddenly we're on the counter from their counter. So there's some good comments in here as well. I agree with them. Gomez without Van Dijk is pretty average in my opinion, and I don't think Matip is good enough to carry the defense on his own without someone next to him, a better player next to him. So interesting one. I think the biggest disappointment for me wasn't the first goal, but conceding a second straight away, not getting our heads together, not reacting, and what was it, a minute later? 30 seconds later, we find ourselves not, so shell-shocked that we've been equalised against. We actually fall behind, and you're looking at that first half, walking off, thinking, how are we losing this game? And the amount of times we were there last season doing exactly the same thing, the amount of shots we had, the amount of chances, the amount of domination, and we're walking off there with 2 points or even 3 points dropped at home. So disappointing, but the second half was exactly what we needed, wasn't it?
So just on this comment, this is a draw out. Yeah. I've been saying this forever that Trent can't defend. Simple as that. Do you know what? I'm happy to debate any topic. Yeah. And this is one that comes up repeatedly mainly amongst rival fan bases. Yeah.
It's a myth.
Trent's defensive frailty. And I agree with you. It's a total myth. It's a total myth. I'm not going to stay here and say that defending is his strongest attribute. But to say the kid can't defend is wrong. Today, what we saw, the reason why he lost the ball high up, and again, I feel he could have done better recovering to get back into shape a lot quicker. Yeah. But he's tasked with bringing that ball out. And for what he offers you going forward, you have to make adjustments defensively. Like you said, SS, when you've got Virgil van Dijk in your centre-back pairing, he's going to encourage you to bomb on. He's going to say, do you know what? Go, I've got this. What kind of confidence does that give to a winger in terms of a right back who plays so high up, almost like a winger, and also to a young player who's going to say, do you know what? I've got total freedom to actually get forward. I think where Trent needs to adjust his game slightly is in that decision making in terms of when to bomb and the recovery run. And we saw that today. That's got nothing to do with defending. It's the recovery run. He was slow to recover. Yeah. When we were kids, they'd call it ball watching. Yeah. Stop watching play and get back into position. And that's
you don't become a right back for Liverpool in England if you can't defend, do you? Let's be honest.
Exactly. There's another one in here as well. We can't rely on Virgil forever. I totally agree with you. We can't rely on Virgil forever, but as long as he's here, let's do it because he's one of the best centre-backs in World Football. So I'm here for it. Evening, folks. Evening to you, mate. Evening to you as well. This one here, love this one. Wayne and Stuart, well said, mate. But this one here, mentality monsters reborn. Yep. We
got the Klopp fist pumps at the end, didn't we? Haven't seen them for a while.
We got the fist pumps. We hadn't seen them for a minute. It was good to have those in there as well. So, guys, if you're in the comments, make sure you are liking this video. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the LFC Daytrippers. Lots of content coming from these guys this season as well. Your post-match show, your pre-match show, all on here for every single game this season. So make sure you are locked in. And if you haven't also, please press the bell button to make sure you do not miss a thing where the LFC Daytrippers are concerned. So let's talk about the kind of the fight back. Because I want to call it a fight back. You know what Liverpool are like. We always do things the hard way.
The mini Istanbul, isn't it?
Exactly. It's a mini Istanbul. It's a mini Istanbul. Yeah. So let's talk about it, right? We're 2-1 down going into the second half.
Yeah.
Klopp does his usual thing. He's off running down the tunnel, but he's out early, and the rest of the team's not out. So that tells me they've had a rocket. They've had an absolute rocket.
Yeah.
So, but I want to see that from a manager. I want to see a manager go into the dressing room with real authority and turn around and say, do you know what? This ain't good enough. It's not good enough. There's no reason why we should be 2-1 down. Yeah. This is what we're going to do to change it. And this is what we're going to do in the second half. And Liverpool came out of the traps like absolute madmen. I don't know what he said in that changing room. We'll never know what he said in that dressing room. But whatever he said, it fucking worked.
It's where he earns his money, isn't it? I mean, Jurgen Klopp isn't given a war chest every summer to go and buy the best players in the world. Jurgen Klopp works with what he has, and what he gets paid for is to go in at 2-1 down and win the game 3-2, which is exactly what he did. And he slightly changed for me how he reacts to us conceding goals. When he was first coming through, he might be open mouthed or angry or flipping, and now he kind of just does that kind of half smile. He's like
gritting the teeth,
and he just like the kind of sarcastic smile, like okay, okay.
Because what he's doing is he's stopping himself going absolutely nuts.
Exactly, he's waiting for the players.
I need to get home with my missus. So whenever I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I'm about to lose my freaking plot. I just go, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I'm good.
Behind closed doors.
Yeah.
I'm losing my shit.
I'm good.
So yeah,
I'm losing my absolute shit.
As soon as they walk in, they're like, shut the door. But no, I mean, like you said, mate, it worked, didn't it? We came out the traps flying, and Mo Salah got us back on our way. And once you're 2-2, you don't feel as bad. You feel the momentum's back with you. Origi did something. We got the ball through to Salah with a good finish, made up for his penalty miss. But I've seen a few comments about Origi, and I mean, dragged off after an hour. I think going down with an injury, aka I've got nothing left because I'm so unfit because I never play and I can't really be bothered because I'm a bit rubbish. Why is he still here?
Look, I didn't want to do this tonight. I didn't want to do this.
I've got to throw it in there, mate.
You've drawn me out now. You've drawn me out. So Divock Origi is a player for moments. Let's be clear.
Yeah,
he's a player for moments. Tonight was one of those moments. Sensational assist for Mo Salah. Hold up play was good as well. Making runs in behind was good as well. But show me something different. I expect you to do that. So he hasn't come in and he hasn't come in and set the world alight. He's come in and done a job, and that's what I'd expect from our backup brigade tonight. He's come in and done a job. Yeah, he's played very well. The assist was good. The link up play was good as well. He was pressing the back four. He was trying to make runs in behind also. He was an outlet for the midfield also. So I think tonight he gets a pass. I also slightly agree with you. We'll find out after the game whether it's a hamstring or whether it's fatigue. I don't know, because you're right, he hasn't played many games. And we were shocked when we saw the selection and the squad, and we were like, Divock Origi in the starting lineup. Didn't make the bench for the last game, so we were shocked.
Strange
but
one.
Again, today I think he done all right. So I don't want to get at him tonight because I feel he did okay. Not the best game I've seen him have in Liverpool shirt, but I think today gives him a pass till his next game. Does he start against Norwich? Or sorry, excuse me, does he start against Palace on the weekend?
But I hope not. I agree with Vase of Flowers.
Hold on.
In the comments, 10-19.
Origi is. I'll bleep that bit out, but he was what we have right now. Okay.
I'm happy with that.
Kev O'Sullivan, lol.
He's
are
not
you
happy
not taking the piss? Look, as I said, I think he was all right tonight. My co-host says different. So no, I think we're being very, very open and very honest.
Yeah.
About Origi's performance and where he is at the moment in terms of his Liverpool career. Barry, great comment from you as well. Give Origi his props, for fuck's sakes.
He might have to score a goal to get his props as a striker, at some point, other than against Lincoln, which was his last goal, by the way.
He did a man's job. He turns up in the big games. Prove me wrong. I'll wait. And look,
I'll wait for him to score a goal. That's fine.
Look, Barry. I agree with you. He's had moments. Yeah. So we think about the two Champions League goals that he scored. One against Barcelona, absolutely sensational. Quick thinking, really great finish. Then the goal
2
in the
years ago.
final as well, sensational finish as
2
well
years
in the
ago.
final. Yeah, he's done very well. But we're just talking about moments. Yeah, they're just moments. I think where SS and I are aligned, other than tonight, is I want to see more. Because we don't have any other options, realistically, off the bench. We've now got an injury to Roberto Firmino for potentially the next 2 or 3 weeks. He could be out. We're now down to Jota, Mane, and Salah. Barry, I'll ask you a question. Do you want to see Oxlade-Chamberlain play false nine? Because that's where we're at. That is where we're at. Yeah, because Origi's not made the bench. He didn't make the bench last week. So do you want to see Ox play false nine? I'll wait. So as we move on, Kev, very agenda biased. I don't think it is. As I said, I just feel like he had a great game tonight. He played well, and I'll give him his props for tonight. But I just feel I want to see a little bit more in there from him as well. Great comment here as well from Stephen. Can't wait to see Konate. I'm hoping he unleashes the beast against Norwich.
I've got a quick question for you on Konate, James.
Yeah.
So we've sold what? Wilson, Shaqiri, Gruitch, and raised some funds. If it's that tight, why are we spending our entire budget on a fourth choice centre back that doesn't even need to play? Because Nat Phillips would be just as good as a fourth choice centre back this season because neither of them would have kicked a ball yet. So, if we're letting go Shaqiri, surely we need to bring in a Shaqiri for 36 million or someone in that front three better than Origi that's actually going to feature on games like tonight. Why are we spending £36 million on a fourth choice centre back, which we don't really need?
I don't think he's here to be fourth choice. We've seen Jurgen Klopp before in the past, how he likes to bed players in. We didn't see Andy Robertson for a long time. Yeah, so I think that he potentially is going to partner VVD at some stage. I think Gomez will rotate solely because of his injury record at the moment. It's very difficult to rely on Joe Gomez, and that's through no fault of his own, but that's through the injuries he's had, the poor lad. And Matip, he's sensational when he's fit. Like, honestly, give that man some flowers. He's absolutely fantastic when he's fit. But when he gets an injury, it's stop-start for him. So we need a player which can be more consistent. I feel that once Ibrahim Konate is up to speed with how Liverpool Football Club play, he will probably be a mainstay in that back four alongside Virgil van Dijk. Jonathan, you may have missed it. I did credit the assist. It was a fantastic assist from Divock Origi, sensational. And again tonight, I think he had a great game. It was a very well-rounded game, and he performed very well. But I want to see more. That's all I'm saying. I want to see a little bit more. Guys, so let's talk about Liverpool's third goal.
Wow.
Jordan Henderson. Wow.
What a terrible corner.
Mate, that gave me Olympiacos vibes. I'm sorry. That gave me Gerrard Olympiacos vibes. Yeah.
I agree.
All I was thinking when he hit that ball is everything you're told. Keep your knee over the ball. That's all I was thinking. Keep your knee over the ball, son. And he's done it. Knee over the ball. Boom. Absolutely fantastic.
It's a cracking goal. I always say volleys are the hardest thing in football. I've always said it, and I always will. And as soon as he scored it, 100%. You think captain, you think Gerrard. All right, I was at the wrong end, but what a goal, what a finish. And if there's a goal to win a game, especially a 5-goal thriller, then that was it. And Jordan Henderson, he always has the same celebration, doesn't he? He sort of starts celebrating like quite withheld, like brilliant, and then he just goes, "Come on, have it, yes!" So it was brilliant to see, and I think that's his first Champions League goal since 2014. Ludogorets, I think they mentioned
it's been a while.
Commentary. I didn't actually have that fact in my head. I heard it, but to see that in him getting on the goals, because he is a player which I'm not ashamed to say that I was pretty brutal to from the 2010, 11, 12, 13 seasons, where he was not good enough for this club, but. He stuck it out, and He's improved massively at everything. And he, when he's not there, we are nowhere near as good. He is such a top player for us. And for me, he's at his best when he's in there with a Fabinho, not instead of. He's not. He can do the 6 against a weaker team, but when he's on that right hand side with Fabinho behind him, Trent overlapping him, he's absolutely top class. And yeah, if he can add a few more goals like that this season, then yeah, he's we saw him win the player of the season, didn't we, as well, for goals at Wolves and assists and stuff like that. So yeah, a fantastic goal. And like you say, that the technique, getting his head over the ball, he didn't really have to add any power to it. It was more of a redirection, and obviously it came from a bit of a terrible corner, which just happily fell for Jordan right on the edge of the box. But yeah, what a fantastic goal, and definitely the moment of the match.
But sometimes that's when you score your best goals. When something freak happens, you make something sensational out of something a bit shit. To be honest, and that's what it was. It was a fantastic hit. He's hit that ball and it's stuck, and Brilliant. It's gone straight in, beat the keeper, whistled through every man in the box, and then it goes. Johnny B. Red, bigging up Konate. We've hardly seen him to have an opinion. Little bit of a secret, Johnny B. Red. Bundesliga football is aired now on Sky Sports and was previously on BT Sport. So you can go back and watch lots of Ibrahima Konate if you so wish. Also captains France at under 21s level. Very, very, very good centre back. And also played quite well against us in the Champions League as well. So, guys, there's some great comments in here as well. Yes, Johnny B, I agree with you. Trent and Matip, immense. Yeah, good game from Matip tonight. Trent, we have to say, was at fault for the first goal in terms of the space that he vacated in there as well. But, guys, like I said, please make sure you're liking and subscribing. If you do want to see any more of us, please head over to the Red Sea Podcast on YouTube, Twitter, and on the Instagram as well. Pre-season. So guys, what we got here from Kev O'Sullivan. When opinions differ, they're perfectly entitled to theirs. Kev, thank you for that. You're right, opinions do differ. Unfortunately, football is a game of opinions.
But there was one player I was quite impressed with when he came off the bench. Was Curtis Jones. I don't know if we could quickly just touch on him.
That shot as well.
Yeah, for me, Harvey Elliott has kind of overtaken him, obviously until that horrible injury, which we wish him the best with. But Curtis Jones has went from kind of November, December 2020 playing 7-8 games in a row to basically disappearing off the face of the earth. And we've mentioned a lot. Basics is the thing he needed to get right, and he maybe got a bit too much too soon. But he came on tonight. He looked interested. He was good on the ball, dribbling, linking up, had a couple of shots, and I really like him. I want to see him play more, and I think he's better than Chamberlain, and I think he's better than Naby Keita. I want to see him. He's a young player, so he doesn't necessarily have to have a set position. A little bit like Harvey Elliott. We nowhere did we expect him to be a midfield free player, really. Before the season started, we were thinking he'll be back up to Mo Salah and coming off the bench and playing in the cups. But I'd like to see Curtis get more minutes now, whether that be in the front three. When we're missing a Firmino, we can put Jota through the middle and bring Curtis onto the left, or put Salah in the middle and put Curtis on the right. So I'd like to see him a little bit more involved, because for me, he makes things happen. He's not obviously anywhere near the same level as Jack Grealish, but he reminds me of him. He gets on the ball. Wherever he gets, he goes on a run and he releases the ball at the right time. If he's got a shot on, he'll take it on. So I was pretty impressed with him.
Yeah, I agree with you. And just want to correct one of my previous comments. Guys, you are right. Forgive me. Konate didn't play in the games against us. It was up Meccano. And
I was going to say that I felt bad about it.
It was. Yeah, it was. It was. So guys, forgive me. I remember it was. But anyway, I've watched enough of him to say he's a great talent. And when I compare it against £50 million for Ben White, who we were interested in, and the fan base went absolutely mental, going, why have we not gone and got Ben White? £36 million for Konate. Tells me that's an absolute steal. But yeah, Curtis Jones. Curtis Jones. I've always said he's a fantastic talent, but I just feel that he doesn't do the basics sometimes. But that's a young player. You're going to get that with young players, and he's in the right place if he wants to develop. But there's times where I feel he's trying to dictate pace in the game in terms of what he does. Maybe slow it down, move the ball quicker sometimes. But I just don't feel he's at that level in his game yet where he can control games and affect games in a way that he would want to in a Champions League or in a Premier League game, to the same way he could affect games in the way that he would want to in an under-23s game. I just feel he hasn't made that leap yet. And you're right, Harvey Elliott is ahead of him, or was ahead of him until the unfortunate injury on the weekend. So, but again, and with respect to Harvey Elliott, when someone gets injured, someone else comes in and stakes a claim. That's why we have a squad. There's an opportunity now for Curtis to come in and show what he's made of as well, and hopefully he can do that. There's some great comments in here as well. Where is it? Diaz was tricky at times. He was very, very tricky. Chris Bracken here predicting his starting lineups, defensive partnerships for the up and coming games. Chris is saying VVD Matip versus Palace and Gomez Konate versus Norwich. I probably wouldn't disagree with that. And hopefully I will be at Carrow Road for the Norwich game. It's at Carrow Road, isn't it? It is at Carrow Road.
It is, yeah. It's a little bit of a trip. But I mean, I was kind of right. I said last night on our preview show that I thought, maybe we'd see maybe 4 or 5 changes tonight, and the ones that missed out tonight will probably return at the weekend. So, Van Dijk, Mane, Thiago, I think will all start at the weekend. But it's an interesting one. Will Matip play 3 games in a week? I don't think he will. So I think Van Dijk will be back in, possibly alongside Gomez for Palace. That would be my prediction at the moment.
Yeah. And what Matip goes in against Norwich?
I think Matip has a rest for a couple of games now. I think you'll see Van Dijk and Gomez against Palace. I think you'll see Gomez and Konate against Norwich. And I think you'll see Van Dijk and Matip back for Brentford away.
Yeah, that's a fair shout. There's an interesting here one from Don, concerned about our ability to kill off teams. SS will tell you all about that.
The thing is with me,
don't get me started.
It reminds me of my team, my under-12s, because what we do, we'll come up against the team that's bottom of the league, that's not won a game all season, and we'll give them a 1-0, 2-0 head start. So you've almost got to beat them twice, because they kind of turn up like, even if you take the lead, they're like, 1-0 down, for God's sake. And then you give them a little bit of hope and they go 2-1 up, and then you've got to beat them again because all their tails are up and they think they've got a chance again. But, once you get that lead, once you get that second goal, these kind of teams at Anfield will disintegrate. So we've got to stop giving these teams, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, but, teams like Burnley, Brighton, Newcastle, we've given them hope last season every single time. We've not killed off games. We could be 90% dominant with a 1-0 lead, yet we're open at the back for a counter and an equaliser. So yeah, I think killing off teams has been our Achilles heel for a while now.
There's a curveball in here from Trevor Sullivan. I was digging this one out. I saw it pop up, and because you guys are so active in the comments, we appreciate it. It was just whizzing up the screen. I was trying to catch it before it went. Kev, that is actually quite a decent shout. Nat will play versus Norwich.
If he plays over Konate, then I'm not sure what we've done with our money. Let's be honest. That's not happening. If it does happen, then the whole transfer committee needs firing.
I don't know. It's a good shout, Kev. It is a curveball, because there's got to be a reason why Nat has stayed at the club. Because is he going to play those cup games? Is he going to be there as a cup game kind of?
Maybe he will.
So I do agree with what Kev's saying, but we need to be able to challenge on multiple fronts. So I'm expecting more rotation in the squad. We were all surprised by the lineup tonight. No one thought that that VVD would be dropped. I know we discussed it, but no one thought that VVD would be rotated. No one thought that Origi would come in. You know, the Cater inclusion as well. There were some surprises in there from Jurgen Klopp. So maybe we are going to look to rotate a lot more. So I do respect that comment from Kev as well. It is a curveball there, and it could happen. Slow down, mate. Slow down, mate.
But
Zizou's like one of the world's best ever. Slow down.
I think the good thing from tonight, though, you know, we've got the win, albeit it was more dramatic than it needed to be. Atletico and Porto played out a stalemate, so they, you know, we're already 2 points clear of Atletico. Our next game is away to Porto in the Champions League, which, you know, you'd hope we could get a sneaky win there. If we're on 6 points, you think Atletico would probably beat Milan. They'd be on 4. You know, if we avoid defeat against Atletico in the next one, we should be 1 foot really in the knockout stages, and then you could start to rotate. Hopefully, because we've got Atletico in a double header in the middle of the 6 games. You know, if we've got Porto in game week 5 and Milan in game week 6, you could start to rest some players. And you mentioned it last night. You know, when Jota played against Midtjylland, you know, we need to start playing Leighton Clarkson and the like in these 5th and 6th games, which is going to help us because we have got a small squad in terms of quality. You know, numbers are back with injuries, but realistically, we've only really got 12 or 13 players that are at top level, aren't they? So the more we can rest them, the more it will pay dividends after Christmas. Yeah,
I totally agree. And then you're heading into the penultimate stage of the season. You know, the team that's normally top at Christmas goes on to win it historically. So we want to be at least in and around that mix. But we can talk about Premier League another time. We're here to talk about Champions League. First Champions League game back, and it's a 3-2 win for Liverpool against Atletico Madrid. This is a great comment from Nay as well. Nat and Konate could happen. There was another one in here as well, which is a great comment from Jonathan. Konate is a long-term project. He's 22. I agree. He is a long-term project. He's an absolute unit, and he's actually quite decent with the ball at his feet as well. So he can play out. In the previous guys, he was actually a striker back in his youth team days. So yeah, it's an interesting one as well. Where we got here as well. VVD not need to play against Burnley, in my opinion. Listen, that was a warm-up game, mate. He was using that. He was using that as a little bit of pre-season, dispatched them super quick as well. But there's some great comments in here as well from you guys as well. I just don't like our fans nitpicking.
Guys, we expect perfection and the best. That's all we expect. And when anyone drops below that, we call it out.
Yeah, exactly. You know, my thing is that we're Liverpool Football Club, and ultimately there's a standard, and there's a standard which we need to be held accounted to. And we're not nitpicking at all. I think the lads have had a well-rounded game. You know, but we're here to dissect it. And if we weren't being open and honest, we'd be doing a disservice and injustice to you guys, the viewers. So you know, I get it.
It's just the fall off, isn't it? You know, when you see an Naby Keita and a Chamberlain and Origi, the drop is too much still. And, you know, you look on the bench, people like Minamino aren't even getting on. 5 subs in the Champions League with a rotated team, and he still doesn't get even 5 minutes. So, you know, Minamino will start against Norwich. He might do all right, and then he won't play again until the next Carabao Cup game. So, you know, I think 12 or 13 was probably a bit harsh. We've got 14 or 15 players that, you know, that we can rotate if you count the 4 centre backs, but I still think we're missing 1 or 2, you know, in the outfield, especially with the Elliott injury and Genie would have leaving.
Is there a case? Is there a case though for this? Because what you said carries a bit of weight here. I think in terms of the 14-ish. Not to say that we've only got 14 top class players, but Klopp likes to keep it small.
Yeah.
He likes to keep it small. He only likes to use a certain amount of players. So there is a plausible argument for what you're saying. I don't necessarily agree with the steep drop off in quality. I think there's a distinct cut off and drop off in availability. Now there's a difference. Yeah, I think the players in our squad are good enough. Yeah, they're good enough. But are they available often enough? and that's my problem. We look at Ox. Arguably, when he came into the squad or into the club, he was keeping Ginny out of the team. He was sensational in that point. That player just doesn't disappear overnight. But where his loss in form has come because he's had consecutive injuries.
And wears you down, doesn't it?
A long period of time. Do you see what I'm saying? It wears you down. So I don't think there's a drop off in quality with someone like Ox. I think there's his availability isn't where it needs to be. Naby Keita being another one. We all know that Naby Keita possesses talent. We've seen glimpses of it. Yeah,
have we?
I haven't. We have. No, we've seen. Let's be fair. We've seen glimpses of that talent where he beats a man, he gets forward, he bursts into positions. He can do it. Yeah, but where I think the issue with Naby Keita is again as well is his availability. When we needed Naby the most, like last season, he was injured. He wasn't available. He couldn't be selected. Matip being another one. He's now playing some of his best football. You know, Matip played in the Community Shield when we were in the Community Shield, and he looked sensational. That season, we thought he was going to be the continued partnership going through with Virgil van Dijk. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah. He gets injured, we're back to square one. Same with last season as well. Injured, back to square one. Yeah. So it's not, for me, it's not the quality, it's the availability that hurts me. It's the availability. And Stephen, look, we are. We say it as it is, mate. We ain't gonna hide. You know, there's nowhere to hide on the internet. We say it as it is.
One or two passes or a little press doesn't make the £60 million worth it. He's way off it.
No, I agree. I don't think we've had value for money at that 60 million, but I think that's due to injuries, not necessarily due to quality. And that's where I will draw the line with Naby Keita. Availability is an issue for me. Not necessarily his qualities, it's his availability as well. This is an absolute curveball. What do you think about Donny van de Beek in our midfield? If I speak, I'm in trouble.
I don't mind taking that one.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I mean, what I will say is his best football I've seen him play was in a 10 at Ajax as the main man. And when he went to Man United, they already had Bruno Fernandes, and he doesn't play there. So that's why, you know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's idea of a rest for Bruno is bringing him off in the 89th minute. So Van der Beek doesn't get a chance. And we don't play with a 10 either, so he's not going to work here. So he needs to go and find a team where he'd be the main number 10, and I think he'd get back to his best. But whether he takes a step back to Ajax again, or maybe moves to Germany, a lot of Dutch players kind of move over there. Maybe someone like Dortmund might be a good move for him, because he's got some great quality, but he's a 10, not a centre mid.
You've drawn me out. Donny van de Beek in United is being mistreated. Yeah, he's being mistreated. Now, I think, and again, this is far left. This is way left of our match show. But let you know, a viewer's posed a question, so let's do it. Let's address it. Yeah, I think because of his ability to ball carry, in terms of his technical ability, and Dutch players are superior technically. They're phenomenally good technically. We see it with Gini Wijnaldum, phenomenally good with the ball at his feet. That to me would lead me to believe that Jurgen Klopp could mold him into something. What we're seeing with Van der Beek at the moment isn't what Van der Beek would probably do at Liverpool. He could be molded into something different. And that's as far as it goes with me for Donny van de Beek. Would we ever get him out of Manchester United? Probably not. It's not something that Liverpool
Gabriel Hensley days, wasn't it?
Do as well. And look, and this leads me to where my thought process is going. I think it would be a similar transition as Ginny done from a 10 in midfield. The vital signs are there, but he's being mistreated at Manchester United. Free Donny van de Beek. What I'm saying. Oh gosh! Right, guys, listen.
Cool.
It's been an absolute pleasure bringing you your match reactions this evening. You guys in the comments have been absolutely great. Hold on, Kev comes in as well. Definitely think a Klopp type could mold him into an 8. Kev, I like your style, mate. I think as well. It would be a thing. I don't know where Terminator 92 is living. It ain't happening, son. It ain't happening.
Did I just see a comment? Is that correct that that's now joint Champions League top scorer with Gerrard now? Is that right for Mo Salah?
I believe so. I did see a post, and shout out Terry at the Football Terrorist. I did see a post on Twitter where he said that Mo Salah is Liverpool's greatest player in the Premier League era. Guys,
wow.
Throw your comment in that comment
What a way
box.
to end.
Do you agree? Is Mo Salah the greatest player for Liverpool Football Club in the Premier League era? And being very crucial here, the Premier League era. Is he the greatest player? Because we've had some great. We've had some great. We've had Luis Suarez.
It depends if he signs that new contract, mate, and plays into his 30s.
We've had Mascherano. We've had some serious ballers. So, is he the greatest player in Liverpool's history in the Premier League era?
I think he has the potential to be. I think he has the potential. If he signs that new deal, stays for another 5 seasons, and keeps scoring these type of goals, season in, season out, like Ronaldo does, like Lewandowski does, these numbers every season, and he gets another Premier League at least. Hopefully another Champions League as well, or a Premier League on top of that one, then I wouldn't really have any argument. Gerrard will always be for me the greatest. But if you look down at pure success, it's difficult because Salah's played under a better manager than Gerrard did. He's played in better teams than Gerrard did for me consistently. So for me, Gerrard will always be the GOAT, but Salah has an absolute chance to get up there with him, I'd say.
Mate, let's not forget Gerrard played under Gerard Houllier and Rafa Benitez. I'm not saying they're Klopp level, but they're at that point they were top class managers.
No, but I don't think Gerrard ever really played in a total team more than one season in a row. We had the odd season when we're like, I might win the league this year, and then you come fourth. This Liverpool team is, other than the injury crazy season, 97 points, 99 points. Gerrard never played in a team that consistent before.
Whoa. This comment is outrageous. You're doing it for clicks. This comment is outrageous. Suarez is the only complete player. Salah and Gerrard can't lace Suarez's boots. Guy, listen, I'm going to remove that comment before we have more justice, because that is outrageous. That is totally outrageous.
Time to end.
Guys, throw a couple more comments in there. I want to hear it. Is Mo Salah the greatest ever Liverpool player in the Premier League era? Here we go. Salah is better skill wise.
I agree with Kev. Longevity is the key. We're judging Gerrard on his whole Liverpool career, and we know the ending to that story. We don't know the ending to the Salah Liverpool story yet.
Yeah, I agree. If it, like so okay, so we'll close on this one. Steven Gerrard for me is the greatest Liverpool player of all time for me personally. Only because what he meant to me. If I take the sentimental out, and I look at contribution and what he's won, and the fact that he's still got, or as long as he stays, he's still got a long time left in Liverpool shirt, Mo Salah could potentially eclipse that. But longevity is the key. Just want to address the Suarez thing. Suarez was unbelievable. Like I've watched Suarez live on a number of occasions. Unbelievable. Yeah. In terms of his contribution. Like emphatic. Let's not forget he joined us as a number 10. Yeah. He was brought in to be the link between Gerrard and Torres. That's why he was brought. Torres leaves, and Suarez is like, "Fuck it, I'll just be the main man then," and just was unreal. A player of moments, a player to just score goals upon goals upon goals upon goals. But where the Suarez argument falls down for me, where the Suarez argument falls down for me, he was so close to bringing a Premier League title and didn't. Okay, we were on a cusp and didn't, and also he left. So if we're talking about longevity with Mo Salah, let's present the same argument for Luis Suarez.
Yeah, if Suarez scores the amount of Barcelona goals, but at Anfield, then I think he'd be very close to the top 3 or 4 players we've ever seen. But yeah, you know, you can't yet say Salah's up there yet. If he, like you say, if he stays till he's 33 and scores another 100 goals for us, then it's a very big argument. But yeah, until then, no.
I love this comment as well. You've seen nothing. You've never seen Johnny.
Yeah, he was a bit before my time, unfortunately, and I do wish I would have seen him play.
We just missed the Barnes era, didn't we? We just missed it.
Yeah,
for like a season, though.
What was he? 90? Was he 94, 95? He stopped. I think I started watching 96, 97.
That's what I'm saying. We were just a bit too young. So no, do you know what? Barry, I'll have that one because
play to Barry. It's a great shout.
John Barnes is an idol. He was like watching tapes. He was majestic as well. And Kev O'Sullivan. We'll finish it here. Kev O'Sullivan.
That's the word.
Longevity. Longevity. So yeah, I think that's a great way to end. As long as Mo Salah stays and the longevity is there in his career, he could be the greatest ever player. In the Premier League, let's be clear, the Premier League era for Liverpool Football Club, because we've had Keegan, we've had Rush, we've had Dalglish, we've had Highway, Stevie Harmon, we've had Toshack, we've had so many. So, guys, great way to end. Thank you for locking in to your match reaction show with us guys here from the Red Sea podcast. If you're not already, please like and subscribe, and please like this video as well. Please press that bell button to make sure you get all the notifications for everything the LFC Daytrippers have as well. And whilst you're in that little search bar on YouTube, head over to the Red Sea podcast too. Give us a like, give us a subscribe. We've got some great content coming up throughout the course of the season as well. We are on Twitter and Instagram as the Red Sea Pod, so you can't miss us. But guys, it's been an absolute pleasure delivering your match reactions this evening. And we're going to leave you with our thoughts. Divock Origi had a great game this evening. Jordan Henderson, fantastic goal. My co-host doesn't agree. Jordan Henderson, fantastic goal. Trent Alexander-Arnold wasn't his usual top tier, but you know we'll give him a bly. He had a good game, and we walk out of Anfield on a Champions League night under the lights, 3-2 victors, whilst the other teams in our group have drawn. What a way to open up the Champions League this season. We're the Red Sea Podcast, and we're out.